Representative Williams.
Mr. Chair, members of the body, being new to the appropriations process, I guess I had some expectations that we'd be hearing not just about objectives, about cutting 5%, but we'd be hearing about outcomes or efficiency or need. With that said, I'm glad that this amendment has been brought forward because we are starting to talk about efficiency and outcomes. And I support this amendment. I appreciate that it recognizes the contribution to our economy that our university system provides and the interest in alternative fuels and in locally produced products. So please support the amendment. Thank you.
Representative Carey.
If I could speak to the bill a little bit. I do oppose the bill, although it does bring some additional jobs in. I think that can be done with private funds. We do not have to grow state government. Thank you.
Further discussion on the motion. Representative Harris.
Hello. There we go. I'll repeat what Mr. Chairman, I definitely support this bill, and the main reason being that we're struggling in this session trying to figure out how to come up with enough revenue to do this and that. Voting against, I did, shame on me, but I voted against the library bill for crying out loud, you know. But we got to save money. But the problem is, you know, if we had started 8 or 10 or 12 or 15 years ago developing our industries, we wouldn't be having this discussion about how do we save money by cheating the library out of another book. We'd be in decent shape here to do all this, and this is another industry that we need to get behind and support, just like oil and coal. So. And timber and farming, but I absolutely am in favor of this bill because it does just that.
Representative Wagner.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, speak to this amendment. I rise somewhat reluctantly to speak against this amendment. However, I must agree with my the good Representative Esp on the other side of the aisle there. This is about priorities, ladies and gentlemen, and you know what? It's been talked about CRP ground. Ranchers and farmers get paid good for CRP ground not to grow. I think they can invest some of those payments in funding this program and technology, and that'd cure 2 problems. So I'm going to speak against this bill. Thank you.
Representative Osmundson.
Mr. Chair, was on the subcommittee. We heard a lot of testimony. I would have to concur with many of the people that have said, I want to call it corporate welfare, but I am a farmer. I work with farmers. That's what I do. And I would oppose this amendment. There are private industries that can fund this. We do have to make priorities. We have done that. We have not funded some things that are quite important, and I don't think this rises to some of those things that we have not funded. So with that, I will oppose it.
Representative Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I rise to support this amendment. It's a very good one. Anybody that's been up to Havre College and seen what they did up there, they processed a lot of different grants to help them out. They've worked with big bud tractors and cleaned up their smoke. They've right now they just got a brand new Ellis-Chalmers engine in that goes in a truck. They're trying to make it where it'll pass federal specs for smoke and other particles. So thank you. It's a good bill.
Representative Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm a no also. I'm private enterprise that understands investment, they understand risk, and they understand markets. So, thank you.
Representative Sands.
Mr. Chairman, I rise to oppose this amendment. I want to tell you why. I think this is an issue of priorities. Earlier when we were looking at the budget, we didn't vote to support prescription help through RX for senior citizens. We didn't vote for food stamps for people who are hungry in the state. There are private sources to fund this. I think we need to get our priorities straight and provide those really essential services for our folks out there, and we did not do that. And I'm not going to vote for this.
Representative Knudsen, do you wish to be recognized on this motion? Representative Knudsen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Briefly speak to the bill. One of 2 oil seed crushing facilities in the U.S. is located in my hometown of Culbertson. To say that this private-owned oil seed crushing facility has been a financial debacle would be putting it lightly. It has gone bankrupt 3 different times. It receives has in the past received numerous state grants to try to make it profitable. The bottom line is that the oilseed crushing industry, while I certainly think it probably has some potential at this point, the technology is not there. This is an industry that relies heavily on subsidies, including from this body. So I'm going to reluctantly oppose this amendment.
Representative Peterson, for what purpose do you rise?
To speak on the amendment. I asked some questions before, but I didn't speak on the amendment. I think we're kind of missing the point of this amendment. This amendment is to provide some funds to MSU biodiesel research. It hasn't anything to do with the business, with the commercial development of it, but it's to provide money for the research. So that if, as the representative from the Northeast back here says, they have an oil crushing business, a debacle, maybe they could figure out how to do it better with their research, and go ahead and then maybe we can do it commercially better. Maybe we can find out a better way to handle it, better way to dispose of the residue and everything. This is research. This is for education. It's not for the commercial development of it. So I'd urge you to vote on this amendment. Thank you.
Representative McNutt.
Members of the House, I got a grandson that's attending HB2.1.2.wmv right now, and he's in the biodiesel program, and I had the opportunity to talk to him a couple days ago. I said, how is that program? And he said, it's really doing well. They just put up 4 new flat-screen TVs. We got 4 new pieces of test equipment. Industry is funding this very well, and they're a part of this bigger than you can imagine. So I would like to resist this amendment. Let's let the private industry furnish the funds for this. They're the ones that are going to reap the benefits.
There being no further discussion, Representative Warburton, would you like to close on your motion?
I would, Mr. Chair, members of the body, thank you for some great dialogue. I want to point out that industry has donated millions in equipment, but they aren't going to sit there and pay our professors. You show me one other place in this state university system where you're saying, go pay your professors with private industry. Go find, some company out there to pay your professors to do your research. I'd like to see that. That's what you're all, saying about Northern. They've worked very hard to go out and get donations for what they can. Yeah, sure, they can get donations for equipment, maybe flat screen TVs, maybe different things, but I don't see a company, stepping forward to say, okay, we'll pay all your professors. I want to emphasize again, the center was just established in 2007. Their goal is to be self-supporting. They're taking fees for doing tests for different businesses, including Montana entrepreneurs. But it takes a while to get up and running to where they can support themselves. So we can either kick them in the teeth now, set them back now by not giving them this, or get them to where they can reach that point. Again, I mentioned earlier, beetle kill forest waste, 40 to 100 jobs. We're the only research facility in the nation that's able to research from seed to gas. They're testing additives to improve I should say seed to diesel, not seed to gas. Testing additives to improve the mileage. They're just doing a lot of great things. Just a few quick things. Montana entrepreneurs are counting on MSU-Northern facilities. They've tested products for Peaks to Prairies, a group of farmers that have created a biolubricant that's a substitute for petroleum. Entrepreneur in Bozeman that has a camelina-derived additive to put into conditioned wear surfaces and engines. Another Montana company that has an ingenious project that takes hydrogen out of water and it uses it to increase the flash point of the biodiesel so it burns faster, more completely, reduces exhaust emissions. They're testing carcinogenic emissions to try and get rid of those. Other places out there, there's research firms that could help these Montana entrepreneurs, but that expect them to maybe come to the door with hundreds of thousands of dollars. MSU-Northern is approachable. They want to help entrepreneurs. They sit down with them and visit about the type of activities they need done and how they can help, and they collect a reasonable fee to help fund the program and move it forward. They're dealing, yes, with they need matching dollars to get these Department of Energy grants. Let me tell you again, the Navy wants their aircraft 50% biofuels by 2020. Northern's on the cutting edge of this. Why not have Montana reap the benefit from that? The BNSF test is huge. I gave you all that information about the work being done with BNSF. Can you imagine the amount of biofuels that locomotives could use in this country and how that could revitalize us? We can either go for it or not. I think we all get this publication in our mailboxes, the Rural Montana publication, and the last one featured our full congressional delegation, Baucus, Tester, and Rehberg. The title, Dependence on Mideast Oil, a Long-Standing Threat. Senator Baucus said, we introduced the Freedom Fuels Act to spur energy development here in America and power our military with Montana-grown camelina. Senator Tester said, developing a full range of domestic energy solutions should be a top priority and Montana can lead the way. Representative Rehberg said, unrest in Egypt and across the Middle East, importing oil from countries whose leaders are openly hostile to the U.S., relying on international cartels who control the output and price of oil. Take your pick for the most compelling reason to end our addiction to foreign energy. We need to develop traditional energy resources and build the infrastructure to
1 minute.
support them. He goes on to say, we must develop technologies that will usher in the next generation of energy production. MSU-Northern is doing that. This is simply a jobs amendment. And if you want to vote for jobs bills, please vote yes on this amendment. Thank you.
Question now arises on the motion of Representative Warburton. All those in favor will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no. Are there absentee votes?
Mr. Chairman, Representative Swanson has voted aye.
Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change his or her vote? If not, the clerk will record the vote.
Mr. Chairman, 46 representatives have voted aye. 53 have voted no.
The amendment has failed.